Tony Winston, Jazz Piano College. I must have 10 videos out about blue bossa, but I thought I'd do another one because I've been working out of this book by Jimmy Amati. It came out back in the 1990s, I believe. The chart's got C minor 7th. Like C-7 means C minor 7. And that sounds right, but I listened to a lot of recordings, Dexter Gordon, Joe Henderson, a couple other recordings, and I heard a lot of minor 6 chords. When you see a symbol like C minor, and it doesn't say C minor 7th, you gotta assume that it's a C minor built from the minor melodic ascending scale. That's what Jimmy Amati says in this paragraph here. So what Jimmy says is, as a result of this unfortunate confusion, a generation of students, including myself, have been restricted because their vocabulary has been largely limited to a modal scale-based musical language instead of including the minor chord in their vocabulary. In other words, we just automatically go to a minor 7th chord, we play the Dorian mode, instead of thinking about a minor 6 chord a little more often and using what's called the minor melodic ascending. I've got a million charts too, and I'm just going to reprint a couple of charts here, and one of them is a left-hand chord study. Now this one has lots of like reharmonizations and stuff, and you certainly don't have to play every one of these chords. I mean, I've got 2 chords in every measure, even when, they're not necessary. I'm also going to include 2 tracks. One is, and I hate to do this, one is the Jamie Aebersold track.
One, two,
Maiden
2,
Voyage.
3.
It says 14 easy to play jazz tunes. But I mean, if you listen to Monty Alexander play this tune, there's nothing easy about it. I mean, he tears the hell out of it. Because this one on the CD is kind of slow. The other track is going to be one that I'm going to make out of Band in the Box. So it's kind of AI, that kind of thing. But it's going to go a lot faster, and it's going to have some additional reharmonization ideas, including the one that Monty Alexander does, which is really outrageous and crazy. I've done a video about it, so you can check that out. All right, enough talk. Here's the arrangement. Follow along. Okay, let me talk about it real briefly. I'm using a minor 6 chord. You can just as easily substitute a minor 7th chord in here. And a previous chart very similar to this has the minor 7th chord. And, the fake book, the real book that is, it's got a minor 7th chord in there too. And I think most people play it that way. But, when I listen to Dexter Gordon, that piano player, he's using chords like this. Another thing I heard too was these a minor 7th like this. Sorry. I heard that on the Joe Henderson album. All right. Now these are quartal voicings because they're mostly fourths, and there's no minor 6 here. But look, when you get up to this one, it is a minor 6. There's the minor 6th. So this is why I'm doing the video again, because I just thought I needed to. Here's my reharm. All right, now that passing chord is just like putting a G7 right in there. So like, right, C minor, G7, C. All right, but in a jazzy way. And that's still C7th with a sharp 9. And once again, do this diminished chord. That's like a C7, so I was on F minor, like F minor, C7, but in a jazzier way. you could also use a minor 6 here. But the next chord is D minor 7 flat 5, which is the same notes. So it doesn't give you much harmonic motion. But if you put that E flat minor 9th in there, and that's a reharm, a very common one too, not one that I'm just pulling out of my you-know-what. That way you have harmonic motion. Another reason I redid this chart is because when I learned these rootless voicings, I learned them all as 4-note voicings, right? Like that. Come to realize that most people play just fragments of these chords. And a lot of times it's just like the 3-note version, all right? So that's why I put a lot of those in. All right? See, the real chord there might have an A flat or something like that in it, but and then this one might have a B flat in it, but I've already got the B flat up here, so. And here, that's C minor 6, a rootless voicing. And again, our diminished chord, which functions as G7. I almost wrote a G7 up there, but all right. And then here, we're trying to get to E flat minor, so we precede it by, its dominant chord, B flat 7th, except B flat 7th like this. And before I think I had, the 4-note version. It was much easier to play that 3-note version and go like that. So let me get into that section again. Oh hell, I'll just take it from the top real fast. There it is. And now E flat minor. That's a rootless voicing. You could play it in root position if you like. Since we're kind of in a new key here, a root position chord would be good. And I think I'll rewrite this chart to have those chords play more along with the melody. So like that, kind of give it a little rhythm to it. And then we've got, and then, now I put a root in there because if you're playing solo, it'll sound better, but you could go like that. That sounds pretty good too. Or the more complete voicing here. This chord is kind of a random chord, B flat. You could just leave it out, really. Just play a couple of C minors in there or some of that chordal stuff, and then, right. And A flat, think of it as a D chord also, and the original chord is a D minor 7 flat 5. So you could use something like that as well. Okay, let's talk a little bit about improv. If you're going to use the minor 6 chord, you can use the minor melodic ascending. But you could use the Dorian mode too. It's also got that major 6 in there, so Dorian mode is fine. And pentatonics, like the E flat pentatonic. Some people will call that a C minor pentatonic, but I refer to it in its original form. Like that, and if you just add one note to that note right there, that's the blue note for the C blues scale. Okay, so and either chord will work. So now, if you're going to improvise over this, unless you're pretty advanced, don't try to do all these chords. Play a simpler version, just like what I'm going to show you here. Here I did show F minor 6 and also F Dorian. All right, it was pretty much the same. Okay. I wrote Locrian sharp 2 here, but you could do the E flat major scale. All right, right? And this is the beginning of a 2-5-1, so you can really just kind of jam out in C minor or C blues. It'll be fine over this. Right? That's just blues scale there. Or the Locrian sharp 2. And then our rootless thing. And once again now you got 2 notes jammed in there. Just play it like this. Leave that B flat out of there. It's just easier. Unless you want to, you know. There's the altered scale. All right, and it comes from the A flat melodic minor scale. But like I said, you know, just you can use the blues as well. All right, now the reason this is such a great song to learn and to practice it in different keys too, because it's got that minor 2-5-1, and it's got a major 2-5-1. That means it ends on a major key, major chord. So that's a D flat, and our 2 chord is E flat. But just play the D flat major scale, and that is E flat Dorian, right? Because it's got flat 3rd and flat 7, you know. All right, so you just stay on the same scale the whole time if you want to. Just D flat major scale. And really, however, you can do so many things on that dominant chord, the A flat. That was diminished scale. I think I'll redo this little page here to show some of the options here. That was Lydian dominant. 101,000 subscribers. I'm very happy about it. I couldn't have done it without all your support, especially over there on Patreon, but also through PayPal as well. And I'm only here on YouTube. I don't post this stuff anyplace else. I don't do shorts. I don't do Instagram or Threads or Facebook. I mean, sometimes I put stuff on Facebook, but it's just, you know, you're not missing anything.